scramble into 210 now.
Good morning and welcome aboard our Cessna 172. Today is June 13th, 2019, and we're on the ground at Tacoma Narrows Airport in Tacoma, Washington. And today we're going to be doing some touch and goes here at Tacoma. We've already listened to ATIS. The runway in use is runway 17. Altimeter's been set. And we're going to go ahead and call the ground control to get our taxi clearance and do some pattern work. Let's go ahead and take a look at our aeronautical sectional. So here's Tacoma Narrows Airport, and we can see here that it lies underneath the Class Bravo airspace shelf from SeaTac Airport, which is just northeast of Tacoma Narrows. The shelf that the airport lies under is from 5,000 to 10,000 feet, and just outside of the airport, here to the southwest, it's from 5,000 to 7,000 feet, and to the northwest, the shelf is 6,000 to 10,000 feet. We'll be well below that as we do our pattern work today, but it is something to keep in mind as you operate in and around the Tacoma Narrows Airport. Some additional information from the sectional that we can see right here is the control tower frequency, 118.5. The control tower is part-time. It does switch over to CTAF at a specified hour. We're operating during tower operations, so we're going to be talking to the tower or simulating it. And the ATIS frequency here, 124.05, which we've already listened to. Some additional information, airport elevation, 295 feet. Runway length, truncated 2 decimal places, so 5,000 feet. And the CTAF frequency, 122.95. And additionally, if you're doing pattern work on 35, runway 35, it would be right traffic, right pattern. Here's the airport diagram, which we pulled up. More or less the same information that we can determine from the aeronautical sectional, but here we have our ATIS frequency, tower frequency, ground control frequency, 121.8. And here's the runway, so we'll be taking off runway 17. We take off runway 17, we'll be doing left traffic. We'll be talking through as we execute the traffic pattern. We'll bring it down for a touch and go. We'll do one more pattern, and then we'll bring it in for a full stop landing. Now let's get back inside the airplane, and we'll get our taxi clearance. So we're going to be tuning to Tacoma ground. 121.8 is already set in our COM1 radio. Tacoma ground, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa is at the FBO. Request pattern work. Taxi with Golf. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa, taxi runway 17 via Alpha. Taxi runway 17 via Alpha. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa. Okay, so we'll just bring up our airport diagram. So we're situated over here at the FBO, and we're going to be taxiing out here to Alpha, and then we'll be holding short at 17 and get our tower clearance for pattern work. All right, so we're cleared for taxi, and taxi light is on. All right, here we go. And we're clear. to deal with on our takeoff and landing. Alright, let's just talk through a couple of things here before we get on our way. Take a look at the chart for Tacoma Narrows. So over here we have the chart supplement. And of course we already talked about the airport elevation, 295 feet. But one thing you would clearly want to know before flying the traffic pattern is the traffic pattern altitude, which is depicted here at 1,295 feet. And in parentheses, 1,000, which is 1,000 AGL. That's a standard traffic pattern altitude. There are some airports that have different TPAs for various reasons. So today we're going to be flying 1,300 feet. Alright, let's switch over to tower and 1218 ground and 1199 is tower. We're set. Go ahead and get our clearance and get on our way. Tacoma Tower, Skyhawk 633 Charlie Papa holding short, runway 17. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa left closed, traffic approved. Report midfield, left downwind, wind calm, clear for takeoff. Clear for takeoff, runway 17, report left down. Midfield, left downwind, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa. Position. We're going to apply full power, brakes release, maintain runway center line, airspeed indicators alive, engine instruments in the green, power available, and we're going to start to pull back on the yoke at 55, rotate at 60, and there it is. We're going to maintain runway heading, climb out to 800. Just 500 AGL, get our left turn, crosswind. And there's 500. Following 600. There's 700 feet. On 800. Left turn, crosswind. We're going to roll out perpendicular to the runway. And there it is. We're going to roll out on 080. Continue our climb. Coming up on 1100. There's 1200. Heading, maintain 1,300, start pulling back power. Pitch down a little bit, maintain 1,300. Looking for midfield downwind. Tacoma Tower, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa is left downwind, runway 17. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa, roger. Cleared for the option. Cleared for the option, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa. All right, there's 85. There's the runway threshold. First notch of flaps, pitch down. Descend at about 500 feet per minute. Maintain 80 knots. And we're looking back over our shoulder. When the runway threshold's out of 45, we'll begin our turn on the base. There's 80 knots. And there's the 45, turning left base. And we'll roll out perpendicular to the runway. And there it is, we'll roll out on 260. And we had our second notch of flaps. And we'll maintain 70 knots on the base leg. Looking for that imaginary extended center line on the runway. Slope, we have 2 red, 2 white. And we'll maintain 60 knots. And correct for that crosswind on landing. Pulled out a tad bit early there. Again, in the simulator, it's really difficult because you don't have the same situational awareness you would have in real life. All right, there's 60 knots. The numbers. Yeah, we'll go ahead and correct for that crosswind. Just going to add a little bit of left rudder. So we'll be touching down with the right mains first on landing. Then we're going to retract the flaps and add full power for another circuit. Okay, landing is short. Pull back power. Ground and flaps up, full power. There's 60, rotate, maintain runway heading, climb out to 800. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa, cleared land, runway 17. Cleared land, runway 17, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa. Alright, looking for the threshold at 85 knots. And there it is, first notch flaps. Now we're going to descend at about 500 feet per minute, maintain 80 knots. Extended center line of the runway. $70 knots. Almost there. Maintain 60 knots. Down to the runway. Just a little bit of crosswind there, we'll prep for that. Stand a little bit left rudder. Do a quick debrief. Tacoma Tower, Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa is clear of the runway. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa, taxi parking via Alpha, remain this frequency. Parking via Alpha, remain this frequency. Skyhawk 632 Charlie Papa. Alright, let's go ahead and park it. Let's look at our ground track. Alrighty. Okay, so here we are. Here's runway 17. Can't tell which was the first turnout or second turnout, but in any case, one of them, it took a little bit longer apparently to reach the 800 foot or 500 AGL before turnout. And there's a turn to downwind. Tower Airport, of course, they requested that we contact Tower midfield downwind each time, which we did. The first time we were cleared for the option. Went around, corrected for a slight crosswind coming from the right, and applied full power, flaps up, rotate at 60 knots, climb out again, and again turn out at 800 feet or 500 AGL. And this time, the second time around at midfield downwind, we requested a full stop. We were cleared to land, and at runway threshold, each time we reached our flap operating speed of 85 knots and set our first notch of flaps, descended until the runway threshold was 45 degrees behind our left shoulder, and began our turn to base. When established on base, we added our second notch of flaps, slowed the airplane down to 70 knots, and then when just approaching the imaginary extended center line on the runway, we began our left turn to final, and when established on final, added our final flap setting, slowed the airplane down to 60 knots, and came in for a full stop landing and taxied off. So just a couple things. We can go ahead and take a look at our landing, just to show you the effects of a crosswind. All right, so here we are on final. We'll head outside the airplane. Go ahead and get rid of this, So what we're looking for is we're applying right rudder to align the airplane with the runway because we're correcting for the slight crosswind. So the airplane's crabbing to the right, and we don't want to land with our mains offset from the runway center line. So we're applying a little bit of left rudder. You can see the left rudder there, and then the right main wheel will touch first. There's a slight left rudder. So the right main wheel touches first, then left, and then you bring the airplane down and flaps up. So in any case, that was a mild crosswind. It would be more exaggerated effect. If it were a more severe crosswind, you would see the mains come down much earlier on the right side than the left, or vice versa if it's a left crosswind. So that's touch and goes at a Tower Airport, correcting for a slight crosswind. I hope you found something in this video useful to you. And with that, we'll be on our way. And thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again next time.